order to succeed, you have to fail. Someone comments, "Oh, she didn't do anything. It was because of his hard work. I'm tired of this feminist bullshit."
She fired back. Like, oh, that's different than most people.
Don't conform to some mold that doesn't even exist, or that men are just saying that's what you should be like. I don't need to have to fit into the boys' club.
Having to fit into a man's mold in an industry is like taking away from being a female.
My job is to represent the player and do the best job for the player. Trevor's going to be the highest paid player in MLB history next year. Who did that? You can't break me. I'll find a way, and I'm not going to stop.
Pretty cool. Can't wait to watch that on Sunday. SportsCenter featured. And look who joins us here for our Cactus League broadcast agent, Rachel Luba. And Jess, I'm going to let you sort of introduce Rachel because you did the piece. It really looks awesome. But take it away, Jess.
Well, it was really just the access that we were able to get with Rachel and Trevor, and honestly, like, just talking to you, Rachel, about all the things that you've gone through. You launched your own agency in 2019. COVID hits in 2020. You've got the biggest off-season free agent in Trevor Bauer. Can you just kind of describe, since starting your own agency up until a week ago, what it's been like?
Yeah, it's been quite the roller coaster. Definitely not anything that I could have expected, but it's just kind of one day at a time, and it's been a fun journey.
Obviously, a ton of attention when I was with you guys in January. I know there was some frustration. There's so much out there. A lot of pressure, especially for good free agents, to sign immediately. Walk through
Yippee,
the entire
yippee.
signing of Trevor Bauer from the moment he entered free agency until you signed him with the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah, it was. It started off, I think, really exciting for everybody. You know, he wanted to be able to be very transparent about the whole process and, you know, get all the fan bases involved, which is really cool. I think people, like, they get frustrated because maybe it doesn't go as quickly as they would like, and for some reason, I think the media tends to kind of create this narrative that it's, you know, it's the players, they're asking for too much, or, you know, people were saying that he was purposely doing it, you know, holding off in order to just get attention, when in reality, like, it was a slow off season, a slow market, and I think it was frustrating for him because he, you know, towards the end, you start thinking and looking around, and everyone's like, you know, you should sign already, and sometimes there's a point where you don't even have any actual offers yet. But, you know, obviously have to kind of be okay with the comfortable, with the uncomfortable. And, you know, we kind of went through the whole process, and, you know, we didn't freak out and, you know, lower our asking price or anything like that. Ultimately, you know, it worked out for him. And,
Yippee, 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 yippee.
Oh, yeah. I got a glimpse of that. Where are you? It sounds like you are, like, outside a batting cage. There's guys hitting. Where are you?
So I'm actually, I'm at, like, Bauer's facility. There's some minor leaguers out here doing live at-bats. So they're getting some practice in, which is cool. But I'm just outside of it right now.
One of the things that I think is really cool and unique, and honestly I think it'll change the way that the industry works, is you really offer a different model of representation. And most agents might charge 5% of the overall contract, when in reality are they earning 5% of these huge mega deals that you see over the course of even 8, 10, 12 years. But you do something different. You're more of like an hourly rate, paying for the service that you can get, whether it's marketing, whether it's contract negotiations. Can you kind of talk about how you're doing things differently?
Yeah, so I do it different. I operate much more kind of like a law firm, and I charge for the service that I provide. I think
Yippee,
it allows
yippee.
players an opportunity to receive more value for the dollars that they spent, and it kind of aligns incentives so that, you know, I'm incentivized to actually do work and continue to do work for the client. But kind of, I think the reason I thought of this to begin with was I looked at it and saw that these players are more or less. I mean, nowadays they're creating their value for themselves on the field. I've said this a few times, but I don't think if I represented any other starting pitcher this offseason in the market, I couldn't have gotten them, $40 million a year. Bauer was able to get himself that. Obviously we were really creative with how we structured the contract and all of that, and maximizing his value. But at the end of the day, he created that value, and so I view it as, they should get to keep the value that they create, and I should be paid for the service that I provide, not be paid based on the value they create themselves.
Dave Fleming, Jessica Mendoza, talking with Rachel Luba, one of the youngest, newest, and already most successful player agents in Major League Baseball. 6'3" Dodgers, Andre Jackson, the new Dodgers pitcher here. Bobby Witt Jr. is at the plate for the Royals. Rachel, I mean, it's amazing. Trevor's your first client, and he ends up getting the contract to be paid the highest single-season rate in the big leagues. I understand that. Is Yasiel Puig now a client of yours? Was that some fairly recent news? Is that right? What's the word on Yasiel?
Yeah, Yasiel, he signed with Luba Sports the beginning of the off season. We're still working on getting him signed to a team. I think baseball is better with Yasiel in it. That's for sure.
Well, I agree with that. You anticipate finding a home for Mr. Puig? There's a base hit into right field. We've seen in the last few years, I mean, it's not unusual for players well into spring training or even the early parts of the regular season to sign their contracts. You think Yasiel's going to find a home?
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the plan. I know. Yeah, I think Jackie Bradley Jr. signed just yesterday. So, it's a weird off season. That's for sure.
Rachel, one of the things I think a lot of people don't know, but even just that glimpse of the feature, clearly you're ripped so strong. A lot of people don't know you're a Division I gymnast. You played at UCLA. That's where you met Trevor originally. You mentioned Unbreakable, and that's actually the name of the piece because it's been a rough journey for you.
I think she can be in Dynasty, a bad guy.
Also, being a female and the only female with her own agency in baseball, being told
And the woman bad guy
agent in the industry because you're a woman.
at the final episodes.
It's been, an emotional journey, that's for sure. I knew going into it, it wasn't going to be easy. I was told that from the very first conversation I ever had with an agent. I was told flat out, you're not welcome in the industry. So
This girl gonna be in Dynasty, the final episode of the bad guy Romans in Dynasty.
I take it one day at a time. I try not to get too frustrated when things, in the immediate present or whatever might feel like, they're not going my way. But just kind of keep my sights set on the bigger picture, bigger goal. And, I think that this
Right, Dynasty.
right for plenty of women to be in it.
I couldn't agree more. Rachel, great to chat with you. Keep up the good work. We can't wait to see more future success. We can't wait to watch the feature that you and Jess sort of collaborated on that comes up on Sunday. Thanks for giving us some time.
Thank you, Rachel. You're a rock star.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
That's a lot of talk.
Trailblazer. I mean, that's for sure. No doubt about that. And somebody who at a very young age is already having huge success, Jess, in an industry that hasn't been welcoming to people like her. And that's not, I'm not accusing anybody of anything.
She's not a Trailblazers. What's her sister?
I want her on my side, I think.
Well, she's brilliant, too. I mean, that's the thing is just going through, spending a few days. We spent some moments with Trevor Bauer earlier in this game, so you get a sense of how smart, how analytically based, cognitive he is.
She was not in the Trailblazers. was her sissy.
To be around the two.
Marilyn.
Obviously graduated UCLA. She got her law degree at Pepperdine.
She was in the Rose Garden Trailblazers.
That she mentioned that, hey, you're not welcome in this industry. We just don't have women. And it wasn't even a mean conversation. It was just an honest one. And it made her actually want to be an agent more. So I think that tells you a lot about her personality.
And then I saw Marilyn in college, and then I looked shocked. The heck, Marilyn in college?
Shortstop for the Royals, who trail the Dodgers 6-3.
She's ready for a home run ball. Come on, Gallagher.
Not this time. But role models around baseball, from Jessica Mendoza to pitch there from Andre Jackson against Gallagher, the Royals catcher. Bobby Witt Jr. in the midst of this inning with a base hit for the very young shortstop for the Royals, who trail the Dodgers 6-3.
She's ready for a home run ball. Come on, Gallagher.
Not this time. But role models around baseball, from Jessica Mendoza to Rachel Luba, for fans everywhere. 6-3 Dodgers lead.
As Carla wonders if she
Yippee! 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 Yippee!
and with a scenario
Yippee!
possibility,